Okay, today is October 1st, 2025, and we will start a Water Sewer Commissioners meeting at 6:30 p.m. And first of all, I gotta ask, is there anybody here for Commissioners Public Forum? If not, we'll go right to Robert Coleman to uh, give us the motions he's got in terms of both the warrants and the meetings to be approved. Robert, go ahead.
I make a motion to accept the minutes dated September 10th as written.
I second.
Was that the 10th or the 11th?
10th.
Yes.
Okay, any discussion on any of the writings in the minutes? If not, we'll ask Cheryl for a roll call vote.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye,
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Eric Groton.
Aye.
okay, Robert, you're up again with the warrants.
I make a motion to accept warrants totaling $80,583.86.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion on any of the smaller figures that comprise the larger figure?
Just a question for Cheryl. Cheryl, who applies the which account these get charged against on the budget? Is that you or is that up at?
I do
town
that,
hall?
yes. I do that when you come in, it's already on another spreadsheet to what each account they go to.
Okay,
Majority of those will be going into our expense account, except for Veolia's water. That's a different account. And that's it. The rest are all in our expense.
yeah, so like what's that Kirkwood sewer billing?
That is the company that processes all the sewer bills after I input all the information.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so is it possible, like, could I get a copy of those spreadsheets for the fiscal year that we're in? I just kind
Yes.
of want to, I was,
Mhm.
when I was looking through the budget, I'm like, I wonder what's in that item. I wonder what's in that item. So that would.
All right, so you want the spreadsheets of all our accounts?
Just the ones that were done so far this year, just for me to understand what, some of those budget items aren't like clear to me what they're for. And so knowing what costs are getting dumped into them would help me understand that better.
Yeah, can you share those with me as well?
Yes.
I have a packet from Ashley that I could share with anybody who wants. It's for the budget year 27.
We have to do that.
Yes.
When's that due, Vinny?
December.
I
December 31st.
literally just popped it open a few minutes ago. So,
It's December 31st. That is due to her.
yes.
Okay.
And that's the up and coming budget.
Yeah, it'd be good if you guys could have some input on that as well.
Any other discussion on that? If not, I believe we had a motion. Did we have a second, Cheryl?
Yes, we did.
Okay, then I guess it's time for a vote.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye,
Mr. Tom Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Groton.
Aye.
next up, we have Dennis with the MOR, monthly operating report for Veolia for the plant.
Okay, I'll try to keep it simple. I think the last time I told you we were hiring a new fella. He did start. His name is Corey, if you see him around. He doesn't have a license yet, but he was a partial owner of a brewery in Connecticut, and he has some experience as far as plant type stuff, pumps, tanks, that type of industrial environment. He's very smart. He's turned out very well so far. I don't want to bore you with the same old stuff here. Get down to the meat and potatoes. The beginning of September, we had Ross Excavating come in on kind of an emergency basis for a hydrant that's located in our yard that's next to the EQ tanks. We found out it was broken underground. Um, it was probably about 5 or 6 feet down where the elbow is. It just the bolts rotted apart at the joint, and I came in one day and noticed that there was water running across the parking lot, which is now something strange. So um, we had that repaired. We repaired it with a smaller Vinny, what are those called? Is that a yard
It's
hydrant?
just referred to as a yard hydrant.
Yeah, it's like the old school lever up, lever down, turn on and off. That's all we need out there. Um, and it drains back in the winter, so we shouldn't have any more issues with that. Uh, the same day we had our SCADA guy come in because the sludge pumps failed. Um, we thought it was going to be a internal issue with the SCADA. It kind of was, but we figured it out, and so that's well. Speaking of EQ tanks, I've been bothering the flight pump people who provided us the pumps for the EQ tanks. We have one out, um, and we need to get it back. Vinny, I don't know if you noticed, it's running a little high, the
Yeah, I was
tanks.
just looking at it.
I've been
Yep.
watching it. That started around 3 p.m.
Yeah,
And
your output's not where it should be for running 3 pumps full bore.
yeah,
You're only
so
getting 200 gallons a minute through the plant. You should be at 700 or 800 gallons a minute with 3 pumps.
yeah,
So you get
I'm
something
thinking
else going on.
it's been low during the day, and I got that new crane for the forklift. I
I
might
saw that. That's
try to
nice.
pull one tomorrow or something if I can get a plate in there so I can drive on it. But I might have, maybe pull each one to see if they're ragged up. Because this just started over the weekend. On Sunday, I got an alarm. Um, and then today's the next time where I got an alarm. It's been kind of slowing down towards the afternoons. So, but during the day, it's been normal. But I keep an eye on it with my remote SCADA. uh,
You want me to set the tanks low before I leave so it'll draw down overnight and you won't get as high tomorrow afternoon?
yeah, that'll be great.
All right, I'll let you know what I change.
Okay. Some of you may have noticed we installed a few new signs. You saw the ones in the gates. We saw I put in a nice new welcome sign for any visitors that come in. They could see it right away and feel welcomed. Um, we will be replacing all the signs at the pump stations. They're getting kind of old and ratty. It's time for new ones. So you'll see that if you drive around, look at the pump stations, you'll see some nice new, smaller red signs. That just kind of not so loud, but they have their information to call us if there's an emergency. The green truck, we call it the green truck. It's our panel truck that the town provides. That had to get new tires, so that got new tires last week. They were pretty bald, mostly in the front, but the back ones they were down to about 40%, so we had to replace those. You'll probably see that bill come through at some point. Obviously, that's a plow truck, and I don't believe it was gonna go very far with those tires in the winter. I noticed it early on in the summer, but they were fine for the summer. LaFleur has been in a couple times to finish wiring the scum pump. I think that's been about a year in progress now.
Yeah,
It's actually working. We can use it in hand now. We just have to have Rob from the SCADA company come in and do some final tie-ins for that. There was some work that apparently got not missed, but overlooked. So he's going to get together with Rob to make sure all the proper wires and everything is run. At the same time, we're going to run the newly installed solenoids for the Comag rinsing waters. So the solenoids are installed, just the wiring.
that's all part of the ARPA project. You should have those guys marking those invoices ARPA so it comes out of the right accounts. That
Let's
money's
see.
still in there for them to pay for those bills.
There was a call. I was not part of this one. I was out that day, but they went to Osgood Road for a sewer smell. The fellows checked the surrounding pump stations just in case something was on our end. They couldn't find anything, and it was unfounded. I mean, on Osgood, there really isn't. I wouldn't expect a sewer smell from the pump stations all the way out there. So I'm not really sure what that was. Um, we did 7 loads of sludge in September and 4 totes. I think the 4 totes might be a slightly light. There might be 5 or 6, only because we had that heavy rain and we went through almost a whole tote those 2 days. House calls, we had one on Brookside. That was an internal issue, and then another one on West Worcester Road, which was a internal or an inside grinder pump at a business that had nothing to do with us. So we gave him some recommendations, and off we went. Um, that is most of it for the regular things. There was a few things that I just wanted to bring up about the. I think Vinny might touch base on it in a little bit, but there's a mini split that provides heat for the office. We had a couple people come in, try to fix it. The board is fried on it, and they basically said it's cheaper just to replace it at this point because the parts are too expensive. Uh, there's some concrete work that we got a quote for. That is for the entrance to the office. There's a lot of crumbling concrete, and it's actually creating a hazard for any walk in public. I like to stay on top of that stuff. We don't need anybody tripping and falling and suing the town and suing everybody around us. That also would include the ramp for the chemical room is very steep for our forklift. It's just creating a hazard, and we clear the garage door by probably an inch. So if you were to have a slight overlook, we're gonna rip the door off and something bad's gonna happen. So that concrete quote encompasses that. Those 2 items, and also the removal of a concrete pad on one of the side doors that is not needed. I think Vinny also has a quote for replacing all the doors in the building. They're in very poor shape. They're not weather sealed anymore. Most of them are almost falling off the hinges. I've repaired a side one several times now. The closers are all kind of rotted and falling off. They're almost not doors anymore. Um, I'm also looking to the Comag system. It's not on here, but I just got a call yesterday to have a rep come out and look over our Comag system um, to solidify that up to make sure we're running it properly. Um, I'm guessing that we're kind of running it a little bit out of what we're supposed to be. So I believe that's affecting some of our sampling, coming back with violations and whatnot. So I spoke with the rep, and just off of what he said over the phone, it kind of made me question that we should probably have them come in, look over the system. They can do all the math calculations too, on how much power we're supposed to be using, and how much magnetite we're supposed to be using. So that might become more efficient if we get something good out of that. So you'll probably see that come down the pipeline.
Hey, Dennis,
Yes.
do you have to just run that Comag system when the phosphorus permit's inactive? Can you shut that off in the off season?
I don't think so. I think we run it all year round.
I've never turned it off.
Yeah.
For 5 years I ran the place.
Is the phosphorus permit just summertime?
It gets a little more lenient in the winter, but I don't know that we could meet it every sample if Comag was not running.
Okay. Who's the Comag rep now?
They're from Xylem, the Xylem pump company.
Okay.
Xylem kind of took over the world, so they're like Veolia, taking over the
Yeah, they're
world
the
slowly.
same company that made the RBCs too.
So currently we're supposed to try to put the second tank back online. We have all the parts. We just haven't had a chance to get into it because basically I'd have to do it by myself, and I need somebody else with me because my 2 employees aren't skilled enough to handle a job of that nature. So I'm going to try to get that done as soon as possible, and then we can run the 2 tanks simultaneously, and hopefully I'll have better results going forward.
If you want to pick a day next week, I could do that with you.
Okay. I believe they sucked it down. I think they cleaned some of it.
Yeah,
But
that doesn't matter. It'll
as
all
long-
get cycled.
Yeah, as long I just want to be able to see most of the bottom so we can pull up the impeller and put it all together. Our UV system, I think we talked about that before. We got a couple quotes. One was to replace all the modules. Um, it's at the end of its life. I don't think replacing the modules is something that is a good idea at this point. We may still have I think I want to have the service guy come in and replace the sensors, so we'll be able to read the readouts of the intensity of the bulbs, and that will probably go over well with the DEP to stay away from us, and just to so we look better to them, that we're not just not doing anything, but we're monitoring everything closely. In case we do have any exceedances, we've done everything possible that we can.
So, sorry to interrupt again.
Yeah.
Dennis, but
No problem.
on the plant performance report, that table that's
Yep.
included in this thing, it shows that the E. coli, limit's supposed to be, 126 and 409, and the result on this table is, 600 and 1200, like in each case is 4 times the limit. Is that because the UV system's not working?
I think it's a combination. The UV system, the COMAG, it's we're not settling the COMAG properly. We have stuff blowing through, and when you have turbidity in the water, obviously, you can't kill as much as you possibly can. So, I want to try to do as much as possible to make us in compliance, cover all our bases. So, yeah, it's a tough balance, but I think it's all the combination of everything put together.
For the
Is,
UV to be effective, you need a UV transmittance of 65% or greater. And this facility with ferric chloride really teeters on the line of making that 65% consistently.
are there DEP repercussions with these exceedances?
There haven't been any yet, but I'm sure at some point they're gonna say something.
The other one that's on here is ammonia. It's like 10 times the limit. What's that related to? The limit's supposed to be 1.4 and the result is 13.2.
I think it's a combination of factors. We've been trying to now monitor the ammonia a little more closely. I'm looking at getting a different equipment to actually monitor the ammonia more frequently. The way we adjusted RBCs is kind of old school. We'll put a ring on there to adjust it. Like it, to me, that's I hate to say it, but it's antiquated. It's hard to monitor it closely. So I think we're going to switch to a weekly monitoring for the ammonia, and then try to uh, adjust it more often. Which you can't do it too much, but
Is that the kind of thing that you guys can go to a process engineer at Veolia someplace and say, hey, help me out, what are we gonna change here?
I've had a couple come in. They gave us some suggestions to shut a couple of them off, which I don't think that's, we're at our max loading. So like, why would we shut a couple off?
Yeah.
So to me, it doesn't make sense. I'm actually reaching out to another project manager that works in where is she? Maynard. She's a little quirky.
She
If
runs
you
her
meet her,
plant different.
but she's solid. She is 100% RBC person, and I'd rather speak to somebody who is in the field than an engineer who just comes in. The last one came in, very smart person. He just said, "Yeah, you need to shut 2 of them off, and that's going to improve everything." Well, it doesn't make sense to us in the field. Why
Yeah,
would
her
we shut them
plant's gonna
off?
run way different than this one though. Her plant runs sequential.
Yeah,
She has 3 different trains. This place runs parallel. It's just different. It ain't gonna respond the same.
To me, these are evident, this is like more evidence that the RBC approach isn't right for Charlton.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
So it just,
Yeah,
I don't know.
we're kind of just grasping at little straws. Like what's going to work. If we tweak this a little bit, will it work? And
You don't have a lot of buttons you can push with an RBC, right? I mean,
No.
it's just,
no, just a flow.
you're just spinning. So I'm working a lot at Bridgewater. The wastewater treatment plant in Bridgewater is a mirror image right now of what you have in Charlton, and they're struggling too. The school just restarted. They can't meet their permits either. So Okay, well, thank you. I'm sorry to sidetrack this thing.
We're hoping to get it together soon, with some suggestions and some help. We do have a couple people helping us out. There's another technical, whatever they call them now, managers, leaders. He comes in a couple times a week now. He's helping me solidify some of these smaller things and researching some other stuff for me. So hopefully we can nail it down as best as possible without the new plan.
Okay,
So one of the things Dennis is talking about here is he got a price proposal to have a rep from Trojan come in and replace the UV intensity sensors. And although they won't affect the actual kills of E. coli, it does look good to the DEP that we've made a step towards monitoring so we can catch things before it's an issue. So I think the board should look at that and consider giving them the blessing to have that work done. Minus buying the 5 modules. Those were a couple $1,000s a piece. And I don't know that they were money well spent, but I do think the town should install those intensity sensors and have Trojan do that work.
so is that the sensor kit, the service expense?
Yeah, so you have the
Looks like-
service agreement for, I think it's a year or two, and then it's plus parts. So you get 2 visits per year. They'll come out, they'll test the sensors and see that they don't work, and then the next time they come out, they'll have the replace the sensors, very likely.
Yeah, it looks like it's 8 or 9, 8,500.
I think that's a
Yeah.
2-year agreement, I believe.
Those intensity sensors have been out for quite a while, and there have been remarks made by regulators in the past. It's just never made it on a formal report.
Yeah, so are you looking for us, is that something we need to authorize for?
Yeah, because that would be a pass-through item.
Well, I'll move that we authorize the replacement of the sensor kit and the Trojan service visit for a value of up to $9,000.
I second.
Any more discussion about the sensors? If not, we have a motion and a second. Cheryl, we can take a vote.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Groton.
Aye.
Dennis, you have more for us?
So then kind of circling back to the other item was the doors. He has a quote. I don't have it in front of me. It's 20-something thousand dollars to replace some doors.
21,374.
Exactly.
That's all the doors in the building except for Cheryl's. She keeps hers very nice. But all the double doors are on the back side and the front side, they're all rotting away.
These doors have been in rough shape for many years. I've had mechanics, when I was running the place, screw the frames back to the building. Like, they've needed love for a long time, and unfortunately, I think you guys are the ones that are gonna bear that burden of needing to get this done. So,
I
They
don't know.
can't make it, they can't make it 5 years?
well, that's something we can talk about, but
I kind of viewed it as maybe if we're not putting any additions on or anything like that, we can keep the doors going, in the future. I didn't, when I was looking at some of the proposal for what Wright Pierce sent over, I mean, there was some newer stuff, but I didn't see too much change to the actual present structure. So, and if that was something that it came down to it, I would certainly save the doors and try to reuse them
Yeah,
or
so I just saw the estimate that Wright Pierce sent over, and it's not the process that I was thinking.
yeah, there's a few different things on there that I saw.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd rather wait on things that could limp along, but if you need it, you need it. But
I personally haven't looked at any of the overhead doors or any in the back but I do know that the door that Cheryl would walk into the building from by the parking lot was only replaced a few years ago. So I expect that should still be in pretty good shape.
That was
Um,
not horrible. The rest of them are really bad.
Yeah,
Like,
but
when Pete was here, he had commented on them quite a few times, but we just kind of limped around with them.
I personally would like a little more time to inspect them all and see what really needs replacing and what doesn't, because that's a lot of money right now, that we might do better to spend on something else.
I think, Tom, Robert, and myself will be down there tomorrow. Could we just could you just show us a couple doors and maybe we'll talk about it next time?
Absolutely, yep.
What time are you mostly there? I don't want to run into the other people there, Dennis, but I'll be there tomorrow as well. Everybody has to show up to sign papers.
Yeah, anytime. I think the only thing I have the commitment is at 12:30, right? So,
Okay. You have any more for us? If not, does anybody have more questions for Dennis?
Dennis, you didn't need any authorization to get the Xylem guy in to help you out with the COMAG system?
I'm still waiting for a quote for that.
Okay,
So do they have to fly in from Waukesha, I think, Wisconsin? So, yeah.
yep.
Actually,
It is local.
if you guys want to see why you're there tomorrow, we can show you the concrete stuff too. That was another quote. I don't know if it made it on or not.
Yeah, that should have been in the bundle.
Is that doused?
Yes.
Yep. Remove and dispose of front entry pad and ramp, form pour and broom finish a front walkway with ramp, 6250.
That includes the other. They sent 3 quotes. I just sent one over. So because they broke them up and then they pulled one all together. So that is the 3 items: the front door, the rebuilding of the ramp, and the removal of a pad that gets in the way of plowing.
And I don't know that I was completely in tune with what was going on, but was Vinny saying that's a safety issue with the fork truck? Or,
It's an issue and it could become a safety issue at some point. Like you said, we're just one lapse of judgment away from ripping the overhead door off.
Yeah.
I mean, the clearance is very tight. So, I mean, if we were gonna have the concrete people in and they could bundle it and give us a better price because they're already gonna be there, that'd be great. I probably wouldn't have them come in just to do that, but if they're gonna come in anyways, and I can probably tomorrow I can share the other 2 while you're there, the other 2 quotes with that has it broken down into individual segments. Like if you just want to do the front steps, because that's the kind of the worst thing, that's all broken up, and then I can show you the price for the ramp also.
yeah. And if we look at it and we wait a month to approve it and now it's early November, is that gonna be a weather issue for getting it done?
Concrete, I think they do up till I think it's about 40 or 50. I've seen guys do it colder than that, but I wouldn't advise pouring anything under freezing. The guy, I don't know if he was looking for some timing, but he did reach out actually today, and I told him I would, maybe have an answer today about it. I think he just wants to put it on the schedule. But I've seen people pour up till about Thanksgiving.
Shouldn't be a
Well-
problem because they had antifreeze anyway, if it's questionable. And plus when the cement wood forms and stuff, that all kind of helps keep is occurring, gives off heat, so that all, I've poured in January, never had a problem. So, as long as you do it properly, so. Anything else for Dennis? If not,
So,
pardon?
So I'm just wondering how much downside are we taking on if we wait until the next construction season versus what, if any, risk is there associated with late in the season doing the job? I mean, how do these weigh against each other relative to each other?
For the construction standpoint, I don't think it's gonna be that much of a difference when you pour. Like you said, and Paul said, you can pour when it's pretty cold out. My only concern would be the safety hazard of it. It's not terrible, but you know, it only takes one person to make a bad day. I think it's something that you maybe want to just look at while you're there tomorrow and use your best judgment. Maybe we can try to patch it. The patch will not last, but it could last through the winter, where you know the town could say, "Hey, we did everything appropriately to fix this, not to have a hazard, and if someone does trip, you know, it's been fixed or it's been patched until it's going to be fixed."
Okay, we're all in with Dennis. I'll, say thank you, Dennis, very much. And, we'll move on.
Thank you,
Uh,
Dennis.
next-
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dennis.
Next up was new business, of which we have none this month, and then old business. Chris McClure cannot be here tonight, but he did assure us that there is nothing new to report from Richardson's Corner Road, Route 20, or anything else, Old Worcester Road also. So if that's the case, we'll move on to Vinnie Masterson with the monthly updates and project updates. Vinnie, go ahead.
I actually don't have much for you guys. The fire station did tie in their sewer yesterday. Dennis was out there for that.
I have the pictures for you, by the way. I just forgot to send them.
Aside from that, there wasn't a whole lot going on during the month. I do have another item for you guys. We have an old generator that's not big enough to run any of our pump stations. And the last time we went to operate it, it didn't start anyways, and that was with a fresh battery, and it just kind of sits out on the pad by the flagpole, and I was wondering if we could surplus that and put it out on municipal.
What is it? It's a portable one that gets taken to the pump stations?
It's a trailered generator, and I have used it, but it's not big enough to operate any of the pump stations effectively. It can only operate one pump at any pump station, and unless somebody is really on their game, they're just going to trip the fuse on it, and it's not going to do anything because they're going to overload it. So it hasn't been touched in probably 4 years. And the last time we did use it, we could only run one pump at a small pump station.
Is there a routine that starts it monthly or anything?
There was, but again, the last time it had a maintenance check, it wouldn't start. So then we just stopped checking it, and it's just sat there.
So what would happen if we need a generator to run the stations, the pumping stations?
Well, that one wasn't big enough to do it anyways. I
We'd
know.
probably have to reach out to one of our sources at like
So in an emergency,
the
we
green
would
one,
call
the red one.
Slims, and Slims would come out and pump the wet well while we figured out what to do.
So would that, I mean, I don't know how much a generator that size costs. I'm imagining 40, 50 grand, but I mean, do we rent one? Would we rent one? Is that what we've done in the past or?
So all of our larger pump stations have generators.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where this came from or what its purpose was, but it's kind of a small generator for what you need here.
And we have no use for it.
None that I know of. You got anything, Dennis?
My guess is if, you know, we sent it out to get fixed, it's gonna cost us $3,000-4,000.
Yeah.
To hopefully fix it. You know, it's got some diesel delivery issues on the rails, probably frozen on it. So I looked at it and I like to resurrect things, and I'm on the fence about it. It might
And
cost us
again, even when it
more.
was running, you could only operate one pump at the small pump stations.
Is this generator on wheels?
Yes, it's a trailer.
Okay.
It's the same one that the fire station has.
And Vinny,
Is it-
what did you suggest that we surplus it to the town? Is that what you said?
So the town has somebody who puts stuff on the municipal website and they auction it off. It's an online auction. And when we got rid of the old forklift, that's what we did with it. And we actually got a couple $1,000s for a forklift that was really beat. The old generator from the Mugget Hill pump station, the one that went underwater, we auctioned that off and we got a couple $1,000s for that as well. So, I mean, who knows what we'll get? I was so surprised at the other two items.
I think if
Okay.
eventually when we make over all the pump stations and everything is new, you'd want to look into getting a new tow behind as a backup. But
Yes,
like Vinny says now, all these smaller pump stations, they don't have high flow, so we have the privilege of having Slims come in and vac out the well every so and so, and it's not going to create a big issue. So we can get by. And very worst case scenario, if Slims is backed up and we see that there's a long-term issue, we can rent a generator from Sunbelt or one of the other places, United, on the meantime.
So when's the last time this thing was actually in service or used?
probably 4 years ago.
So how much does it even help to have our own generator if we can just rent one?
It's
So in a
timing.
perfect
Some of
world,
it's timing.
We would be self-sufficient in a perfect world. Where
But
we
we're
wouldn't,
not.
right, but in a perfect world, we wouldn't need to rent one because we would have one here.
Okay.
This one isn't a great resource. It was probably a great resource for like pumping out people's grinder pumps at their homes during a massive power failure. Like, what was it 2010 or whatever, when we lost power for a week?
Mm,
And during those type of events, it'd be handy for our smaller generator, but again, this one isn't big enough to run the pump stations and even the small ones.
Well, I'll make a motion to authorize the sale of the current tow behind generator.
A
Second.
second.
Nah, go ahead, Bob.
Any
I
other
second.
discussion why we should or shouldn't? If hearing none, Cheryl, you can take a vote on that, please.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye?
Mr. Tom Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Groton.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
You have more for us, Vinny? Or you
No,
want-
that's it really.
Done.
Looked over my notes and I didn't really
Okay.
have much
What
planned.
about the
Hey,
discussion?
Vinny,
on- Yes,
Let us know how much that goes for, because the next one I want to put up for sale is the one at the water pumping station on Route 20.
I really wanted to put that on a trailer and have that as a tow behind,
Yeah,
but the propane was just the biggest loophole. What do you do with it?
yeah.
Like, I ran that off of a 40-gallon portable tank, but
Yeah.
it would eat that in no
Yeah.
time.
Well, if we know how much this one sells for, then it'll make it easier to sell the next one.
Is there a reason we can't just sell it now? I mean,
That
just be-
next one he's talking about has 1 hour on it.
What do you mean 1 hour?
It's
It's-
for the drinking water booster station
So
that
there's
was
a-
never
yeah.
put online.
There's a
We have
booster station across from Dad's that was intended to bring water from Oxford to Charlton in the year 2000. But when Oxford said they couldn't sell us water, it got mothballed, and the thing's been sitting there for 25 years.
Jeepers crow.
It
Yeah.
has a brand new generator that I started probably 6 months ago.
But I think we need to get into that when we talk to Chris about all of our water problems.
Yeah. I think that generator will probably be better off being repurposed somewhere in town than sold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brand new. They're huge money to buy today.
Yeah.
So
Can that run the bigger pump stations?
it
Oh, yeah.
could. It's propane now, so
It's not
it's
really
gotta be a
meant for-
property big enough to hold large propane tanks.
I got you.
has the generator technology improved that in over the last 25 years? I mean, if it's an old generator, is it still up to standard?
It's a neat setup. Actually, they're just starting to really develop the technology it already has. So it's a Cummins diesel engine with propane injection. So it's a really dependable engine with an alternate fuel source. It's kind of unique.
Maybe you put it in the new treatment plant to run the headworks building or something.
No, but maybe a backup for one of the pump stations. So North Main Street had some generator issues.
Yeah.
And I really contemplated shifting it over to there.
Yeah.
So
It
it's a
would be nice-
stationary,
It's a
stationary generator?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would have to get craned out and trail it over, but
Mhm.
you know, it's already owned by the town.
Ben, you never looked at like a boiler changing out the burning unit and that to see if it could even go diesel for cheaper than buying a new one?
I did not look at it. You got to check it out sometime. We'll take a ride down there. It's neat. It's literally a 6.7 liter Cummins with spark plugs.
Yeah.
But all right, that's all I have for you guys. Sorry.
Okay, what's up next, Cheryl? We have 61A
Yes.
that I believe Eric Groton did some investigation on that. This is the property down by Orlando's Barn on North Sullivan Road. And we postponed discussion of it last month to do some checking out to see if it has any value for a source of water for the sewer. And Eric, I'll ask you to talk about what you found.
Yep, it's not of interest to it's not a likely site for future water supply.
Okay, it's certainly on the wrong side of town where we need water, so it just looked like with the ponds there, Orlando has a pond higher up and one down below. It might or
Yeah.
might not be a
This-
source
the-
of water, but to test it would be too expensive anyway, so.
I think the soils weren't great. They said the soils were not
Oh,
promised.
okay. Yeah. So, let's see, what have we got? Other business not,
Do we need a motion to say we're not interested in that property?
Yes,
oh, do we, Cheryl?
yes, we do.
Yes, okay.
I'll make a motion to notify the town that we are not interested in the property on North Sullivan Road.
Okay, second, please.
Second,
Any more discussion on that land? If not, Cheryl, you may take a vote.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman, Thomas,
aye,
Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
and Mr. Groton.
Aye.
We done for the night? Perhaps so. Has anybody got anything else? Otherwise, our next meeting will be November 5th, 2025. And at this time, I guess, unless anybody's got anything else to talk about, we can ask for a motion to adjourn.
I
Motion to
introduce,
Who's making it?
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Okay, I don't usually hear any discussion on that, so speak up. Otherwise, Cheryl, please take a vote.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
Mr. Thomas Coleman,
aye.
Mr. Robert Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Eric Groton.
Aye.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Thank you.
night. See you
Night,
guys.
thank you.
Night. See you.